in Ithaca, New York. Ivy League and the ACC ready to do battle right here on ESPN+. 184, Cornell. Ben Darmstadt back after a redshirt season after injury with a back injury. He's 3-1 so far this season for Cornell, second in the Bearcat Open just last week. He's taken on 12th-ranked Trent Hidley, redshirt freshman, 4-0 to start the season as they get underway here at the center of the mat. So this should be a good one here to start things off at 184. Now Darmstadt ranked 5th in the country, and there's a quick takedown from Hidley, and they count the 2 just like that. And Darmstadt getting out, and he uses that strong mat set, gets the escape. Hidley going right after Darmstadt, and that's what you got to do. As Darmstadt coming in ranked 5th in the country, the redshirt sophomore. So Darmstadt, he wrestles a lot like a lightweight. That's what he does best. Could come out silky smooth at the center of the mat for this Cornell team, and they are really, really happy to have him back this year. So thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. It's the first match of the season for Cornell as they host NC State. We thank you so much for watching wherever you may be. I know some folks down in Texas, good friend Adam Monk watching down there in Texas. Adam, we say thank you for watching us here this afternoon as this one is going to be exciting. So it's a 2-1 lead early on for Trent Hidley, the younger brother of Hayden. And already they're going to hit you with that every time. There's a stall warning. And the stall warning. So you're seeing that a lot more in college wrestling, especially at the Division I level, where stalling, anytime you're not working to improve or perhaps going out of bounds more often, they're going to call that every single time. And a lot more emphasis on it, especially in recent years. It's a 2-1 lead for Hidley on top of Ben Darmstadt. Of course, Darmstadt, 2-time state champion in high school, helping the team to a pair of titles as well. He was named USA Wrestling's Athlete of the Week back in high school. And so look at this tough position to be in. Got the leg, looking to hoop around. If he scoops the leg, that's going to be 2, and it is. Darmstadt with a 2-point takedown. He's in the lead, 3-2. As the Big Red. This is an important match to start. We talked about the keys of the match early on in this one. For the Big Red, first attack points. NC State came out, got the first attack. Hidley getting out of a tough position, comes up to the mat, and down. Darmstadt takes it down. Hidley trying to get the reversal, and he does. 2 points for Hidley. He's back in the lead. It's a 4-3 match. This one back and forth, and going back to his back now. Trying to hook over, using that hip action. Is Darmstadt could be potentially dangerous here. And stalemate is called. So it's a 4-3 lead for Hidley, the redshirt freshman. 4-0 to start the season. Coming off a strong showing at the Wolfpack Duels for NC State. So 4-3 lead now. Darmstadt trying to get up, get that escape and tie this thing up, and that's going to do it. The reset of the riding time, 19 seconds. Down to 15 now, the first period. As Darmstadt trying to get loose. Hidley doing the smart thing, riding him out here. And Darmstadt almost getting loose, trying to get 2. And he is knocked out of bounds. 1 second left in the period. So 22 seconds of riding time. Of course, in college, 1 point will give you that 1 minute mark. When you get to that point, you get that 1 point for riding time. But Hidley's going to ride this one out for the end of the first period. Darmstadt. So this one has been a good first period of action here in Ithaca. Cornell trailing by 1. As Darmstadt, one strong rider on top. Trying to hold him down. And that's one thing Darmstadt does particularly well. Gets into that crab ride. It can hold guys down. It could see a potentially dangerous coming up here. And when you're hanging off the back, it's stalling warning on red. And Darmstadt looking for the far side cradle. Trying to hook it in, and this one could be a stalemate coming up. 4-3 lead for Hidley of NC State on top of Darmstadt. Hidley, he was a two-time state champ in high school and a national champ out of Mifflin County High School. Of course, his brother on the team, and he had a spot on the junior world team winning a bronze medal. So this second period, 1:14 left in the second period. It's a 4-3 lead for Hidley and NC State. Darmstadt. And this is what you're going to see from Darmstadt. Holding your opponent down, being aggressive, working to improve, and hustling hard on that mat. He's a very talented rider on top. Here's Darmstadt. Trying to get that cradle. He might have it locked and breaks out of it. Does Hidley. Close but no cigar. Right in the center of the mat. And that's where you want to be. As the Cornell bench getting fired up after that one. We'll see if Darmstadt can force the issue here. Trying to get control in that wrist and trying to come over the top with a power half. And a stalling chant coming from the far side of the mat now. Darmstadt doing anything he can, trying to turn a very rugged Hidley on the mat. And there it is. There's a stalling warning again. And it's going to be a point. We are tied up. So after those warnings, it will be a point. And you saw from Hidley right there, he is not moving on that mat. Trying to get up, trying to go over top. Looking for the crab ride, looking to turn over. He's got back points, no. And there's the 2 count, but not close enough. Almost got a full 2 count into a 3. And no back points there. And that is the end of the second period. So we are tied after the stalling call against Hidley at 4. And we go to the third and final frame between Cornell and NC State. Hidley and Darmstadt. This is how you want to start the matchup between these two. Going back to the neutral position. So this is important here. 2 minutes, you got to go. This is what it's all about. Tie matchup, first duel of the season. 2 guys, 2 young studs. Hidley gets deep on a double leg, turns it down. There's the whizzer and no points. He did not get the 2. Not long enough to hold control on the mat. As Darmstadt fighting out with that overhook. Well, these two bringing all they got here in the center of the mat here in Ithaca, New York. Cornell, NC State. And you can see Yanni Diakobahalis watching, cheering on his team behind the Cornell bench. The excitement, the enthusiasm, the emotion is high to start the season here in Ithaca. Darmstadt and Hidley neck and neck, 4-4. In case you're just joining us, this match just tied up at the tail end of the second period after a stalling call against Hidley. He was just being held down pretty hard. It was not working. And Hidley, deep shot on the single, trying to finish, and he does. And no, over the top, he did not get control. Darmstadt, that's what he does so well, getting out of compromising positions. And he gets out of it. And this one, the way things are going, we could be facing overtime. Still a lot of time left in this period. As Darmstadt trying to limp arm out. Boy, that right there is some scrambling. Scramble movement by Darmstadt, of course. He shocked the world. All-American honors 2 years ago. And it was out all last season with the vertebrae injury. Well, that's what he does. Look at that hand movement there by Hidley, forcing the issue. And there's a 1 point green. 1 point green for stalling. And it's 5-4. Going back to NC State, Darmstadt needs to force it now. 15 seconds. Darmstadt looking for the finish, and he gets taken down. Hidley just blocked the double leg takedown, and he gets 2 points. 7-4, Hidley, and he's going to ride this out. What a finish here in the opener. Hidley, the redshirt freshman, beating the All-American. Hit an upset to start 7-4. Hidley with the victory at 184. Boy, Darmstadt towards the end as NC State right down in front of us here at Newman Arena. Their fan base, they traveled pretty well today, and Hidley is certainly jacked up after that victory. You see the emotion there. Knew that was a big match to get this thing started. And so right now, NC State in the lead with the decision, 3-0. Boy, tight match. So right now we're about ready to jump into our next contest at 197 for NC State. And it's going to be sophomore from NC State, Tyree Houghton, 8-1 so far this season. And John Lowe from Cornell, a New York native, of course, from Wantagh. He's 3-1 this season. He actually took second just last week at the BU Open at 197. Lowe, of course, won a state title at Wantagh High School, won more than 200 matches in high school. Houghton, interesting stat here, a Triple Crown winner for state championships in high school, winning freestyle, Greco, and folk style. Certainly a rarity in the sport, and no doubt you get to this level, every competitor is a cut above the rest. Deep two-point shot here by Houghton. And there's the whizzer out of bounds, no score. Here at 197. Of course, we go from 197 then to 285, then the lightweights come into play. Here in Ithaca, Cornell and NC State, the Wolfpack, and the Big Red kicking off the season here in Ithaca. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. Andy Malowski here with you for this exciting match. NC State up 3-0 to start after a barn burner of a match between Darmstadt and Hidley at 184. There's a deep pulling up, looking for the back trip here. Trying for the finish, going deep, trying to shoot and reshoot. And down to the mat now. Look at the scrambling going on right now. Lowe trying to finish, looking for two. Looks like he's got it, and he does. Johnny Lowe get the two-point takedown, taking control. It's those first attack points that are so important to the sport of wrestling. Build a lead and keep building from there. As we said, Cornell's young guns need to step up in this lineup and stay on the attack and finish strong. Build a lead early, maintain and perform. And first attack points. Now, you want to talk about great statistics, not quite yet in the Ivy League schedule, but Cornell has won 17 straight Ivy League championships. It's the longest in any sport in Ivy history, an elite program in the country. Back-to-back NCAA runner-up finishes in 2009 and 10. And, of course, they haven't lost an Ivy duel. Look at this cradle. Lowe with the cradle. He might have a pin. Could be pinned 6 times, and it is. There's a pin. Johnny Lowe, Cornell. The emotion is high now in Decker Gym. Cornell's in the lead. Pin 6 time for John Lowe. Boy, out of nowhere, the Wantagh, New York native showing us what it's all about this afternoon. It's pin 6 time, and Cornell's in the lead. They needed that one against the Wolfpack. Boy, sometimes you see it, you get that cradle locked in, and that's what happens. Cradle time as Cornell takes a 6-3 lead. Coach Rob Cole, Mikey Gray, Gabe Dean, and Kyle Dake. You want to talk about a coaching staff of national championship and world caliber athletes. None better than that than Cornell. Kyle Dake, of course, a world champion. He's certainly training as well. The Lansing native and 4-time national champion for the Big Red. He's down here today as well as an assistant, like he always is and like he has been since his youth days. Kyle Dake, of course, the first wrestler in history to win 4 national titles in 4 different weight classes when it was all said and done here at Cornell. And now it's time for the big boys, 285, the heavyweights. We've got Brendan Furman of Cornell, a sophomore, 5-1, 9-3 career record. He's 5-1 this season. Won the Lock Haven Open last year versus Deontay Wilson, a sophomore. He's 5-1 this year. Wilson from Amityville, New York. He won a state title in 2003, or the first since 2003 at his high school from Amityville. 22-12 last year. So these big heavyweights, this is what you got to love. You got to love the big guys on the mat going at it, especially when the big guys a lot of times can wrestle like lightweights because it's fast movement, but a lot of times you see, you know, it's a lot of quick first moves, and sometimes if you get caught in compromising positions, you could get stuck at a pin 6. Cornell leads 6-3 after the big pin by Johnny Lowe, the freshman from Wantagh. Leads 6-3, Big Red on tap here at Ithaca. You're watching ESPN Plus here at Cornell University for the Big Red, taking on the NC State Wolfpack here this afternoon. It's the Ivy League versus the ACC Conference. It's the first time ever the Wolfpack have ever been up here to compete. The last time these two teams actually competed, you got to go back to a few years back when they wrestled at the Albany Duels in 2014-15. Cornell winning that match 2013. In fact, Cornell has never lost versus NC State. They lead the all-time series 3-0. Well, they're on track to make it 4-0 here today against the Wolfpack. So a really awesome day up here. In case you're just joining us here on ESPN Plus, Youth Wrestling Day. Some youth and the future of the sport competing here, learning techniques and learning skills from some of the Cornell faithful here this afternoon and this morning before the big matchup here today versus NC State. So Pat Popolizio has really done a fantastic job here at NC State. The Oklahoma State product wrestled under the great and the legendary John Smith for the Cowboys out Oklahoma State. He's from Niskayuna, New York, so not that far away from Ithaca. We got about 1 minute left here in this period between these two big men, these two heavyweights. Under a minute now, 45 seconds remaining in the first period. No score between Wilson and Furman. And this is what it's all about up here in Ithaca, New York. Got a feeling this one's going to go down to the wire, too. Two evenly matched competitors on the mat. Of course, Furman, 9-3 career record. He was also a state champion out of Cannon McMillan High School. And he can move pretty well for a big guy. And these two even in strength as the first period winding down, no score. And I think that's where we're going to be, 3, 2, and 1. That's the end of the first period between these two giants. As Cornell defers the choice. And the Wolfpack looks like they're going to choose down. And you see that a lot in wrestling where certain guys, a lot of them will take the down position, score points, get out. But at the same time, you see many competitors doing their job and holding guys down and turning it into back points from the top position. So Wilson trying to get out and get that 1 point escape on top of Furman. No score here. And trying to get back, still has control, trying to put him to his back is Furman and pushes him out of bounds. So NC State ranked 9th in the country right now in all Division I. Had a great showing at the Wolfpack Open, the duels, that is. Had a 4-0 start so far this season. Cornell, their first dual meet of the season, and they've got quite a schedule this year, aside from the Ivy League. And there's the escape by Wilson. He gets out. It's 1-0 NC State. So, of course, you got the holidays coming up, and as it is in many places across the country and certainly college wrestling, Cornell does not have a dual meet till at Ohio State on December 1st. And they don't return here until January 11th versus Lehigh, number 10 team in the country right now. Then Columbia. Then later on that month, Virginia Tech, the Hokies out of the ACC, coming up here. A 1 o'clock start on the 19th, January 19th. So a lot of great competition coming up. North Carolina, Rob Cole's alma mater. They'll be here in late February on the 15th. They're ranked 17th in the country. Of course, Rob Cole, one of the all-time greats for the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Under a minute to go, it's 1-0 Wilson on top of Furman. Wilson getting the lone point of the match with an escape. This one we knew was going to be neck and neck, going to be a barn burner. And as a former wrestler myself, you know, as a lightweight, I was a lightweight, and you look back at some of these heavyweight guys and how good they can move and what they can do, but you match up against guys with a certain amount, very similar strength. It really becomes almost like a blockade versus a blockade, two brick houses. That's what we have right here, right now, between NC State and Cornell, is Wilson and Furman. And deep shot here. And nice block away, sprawled out by Deontay Wilson. And 3, 2, and 1. And got to think that Furman's going to take down here. No doubt. Furman's going to go down, try to tie this thing up, maybe get a reversal, take a lead, take a 2-1 edge as they trail 1-0 right now. Furman. So it's that first move off the whistle. How fast can he get out of the box? He stands up, can it escape? Wilson trying to wrestle him down. Nice switch around, and he gets the 1-point escape. We are tied. Wilson and Furman tied at 1. Ever so important. You got to get out. It's exactly what happened for Furman. Your back's against the wall. Got to tie this thing up. And that's what he did. We're tied at 1, almost to the 1:30 mark here of the final frame between Cornell and NC State. Andy Balnowski here. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a privilege to bring this to you right here on ESPN Plus. Wolfpack and the Big Red. So this is a big match right here. Cornell leads 6-3, and if it starts to swing in their favor, we get into the lightweights, some of those more favorable weights for Cornell, and things could be a changing and working in the Big Red's favor. Down to about the minute mark. These guys got to go. 1-1. And looking deep for a shot. Almost a shot, reshot action there for Brendan Furman. Great vantage point here today for Cornell and NC State. We're down to 45 seconds. Who wants it more here in the heavyweight? 285, Furman and Wilson. Down to 30. This is those 30-second goals. Deep shot by Wilson. Gets the outside single, and no, blocked by Furman out of the sprawl. And a peek out by Wilson to no avail. Down to 20 seconds. We're down to 20. Deep single leg shot by Wilson. Wilson trying to finish. Can Furman hang on? Could be a stalemate situation coming up. He's trying to finish. 10 seconds. He turns it, and he gets the 2-point takedown. With 7 seconds left. What a finish. And that's the match. Deontay Wilson. What a finish to that one. He pushed hard. He dunked deep. That's why you do those sprints. That's why you run those stairs. It's for the conditioning. And Wilson at 285 ties this match at 6 with a 3-1 win over the young Furman. Wow, what a finish. And that one was huge to tie this thing up. We swing back the other way. Deontay Wilson with the victory. And now some of the magic begins with the lightweights. We start off at 125 into the lightweights, tied at 6. So here we go. It's a blank slate. And this is going to be a fun one. At 125 pounds here for Cornell, it's Dom LaJoie, a sophomore, 4-1. He has a pin this year. He's replacing Vito Aruja, an Olympic red shirt this season for Cornell. Aruja, of course, stand out for the Big Red. He's taking on redshirt freshman Jake Camacho of NC State. He's 5-1 this year. Camacho getting deep on the single leg. LaJoie trying to stop it, grab those back legs, and might be a stalemate coming up. So stalemate, of course, in the sport of wrestling, where both wrestlers are tied up and kind of in a stall position where no points can be scored, and could be the position here. So Camacho is ranked 15th in the country by Intermat right now. He wants to be knocking that door for All-American honors. Camacho, 3-time Connecticut state champ out of Danbury High School, and he's looking. Now, if he switches over with his hips, he's going to get the 2 points here. And does he get it? As LaJoie holding on tight, and it is 2 points for Jake Camacho. So you see that slow moving, you switch that body as LaJoy gets out for the escape. It's 2-1 now. Camacho with the edge with the 2-point takedown over LaJoy. So 3-time Connecticut State champion Camacho, redshirt freshman, and LaJoy, who's just a sophomore out of Cornell. LaJoy, 3-time Michigan State champion, Gaylord High School, 52-0 as a senior, All-American in freestyle and Greco out in Fargo, the most prestigious off-season high school tournament out in Fargo, North Dakota. So this one's close, 2-1. Camacho with that 2-point takedown, using the hip movement to get that early takedown to the early edge. 1:20 remaining in the first period. It's a 6-6 match right now, Cornell and NC State. We knew it's going to be tight. We knew it's going to be a good one. And this is one of those weights where Cornell has to step up big of filling in the gaps. That overhook, deep shot, 2-point takedown for Camacho. Boy, the repenetration on that shot, that was certainly that second effort paying off for Camacho. And he now leads it 4-1 early on Dom LaJoy here in the first period. Under a minute to go with 55 seconds. Jake Camacho, Macho Camacho is what they call him down at NC State. And you can tell he's a very, very strong neutral position wrestler. Very strong, very talented, very fast on his feet. And that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of wrestler. That's the kind of tempo and the pace he wants to bring to this NC State Wolfpack team against Cornell. 4-2 after the escape. LaJoy trying to put the pressure out front, headlock. Get some points out of that. Front headlock, back to the feet. He's got that arm with the Russian. Trying to shrug it off and get underneath for a leg to no avail. 20 seconds now. LaJoy looking for points. Nice underneath. And there's the Whizzer. Whizzer's going to hold him down, trying to over the top. Now if Camacho steps over and throws a half on, he could take LaJoy to his back. Under 10. 5-4, and looking for the 2 points. Still no points as LaJoy control on the Whizzer. Boy, way to fight. LaJoy didn't give up the 2 points there. 4-2 after one. Camacho and LaJoy. Boy, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. Andy Molnowski with you. It is College Wrestling Saturday. NC State and the Cornell Big Red. Two nationally ranked teams doing battle. It's 6-6 right now on ESPN+. Cornell and NC State. And the lightweights starting to get into high gear at 125. It's 4-2 lead for Camacho. And Camacho slamming it back down to the mat. And there's another escape by LaJoy. Let's see if LaJoy can capitalize on the escape and get another 2-pointer. Can he get his first 2-pointer, that is, of the match? 140 and counting here in the second period. Well, you see, you got to go back to the early 2000s, certainly beyond that with Travis Lee. The lightweights at Cornell have always stood out for this program. Troy Nickerson, Nashawn Garrett, so many more. Vito in that category now. And Dom LaJoy wants nothing more than to be in that category, the upper echelon of elite wrestlers here in Cornell history. And this is a good place to start by beating nationally ranked Jake Camacho. 4-3. Camacho in control right now as LaJoy looking to break through. We're down to 1 minute. 60-second go here in the second. And the Big Red. Boy, 2 points would give LaJoy the edge as the outside single. Wrap it around. Look how fast he moves around and pivots to the backside. Could be another 2 points if he reaches over for that half. And LaJoy trying to escape, and 2 points for Camacho. Another takedown. He has been taking down LaJoy at will so far in this matchup. It's down 6-3. LaJoy and stalling warning on green. Another escape. Boy, that's LaJoy getting right after it. That's what you do. You escape, you go after it, try to get the 2 points. Another escape for LaJoy. And that's kind of been the pattern so far in this matchup. Camacho gets a takedown. LaJoy getting out with the escape back to the neutral position. So if you're LaJoy here, nothing's really been able to work and click offensively yet. Stay on the attack, try something else. Trailing 7-4. Match tied at 6 between Cornell and NC State. This is a big one here to set the tone. The rest of the lightweight divisions And the bounce. We're down to 4, 3, 2, and way to hang on there by LaJoy. So 7-4, we head into the third period. That's the end of the second between Cornell and NC State. And now Camacho going to the bottom position. Looking to escape, get a reversal. So Camacho, as we said, here's a young man who's no stranger to accomplishment. The redshirt freshman became the first wrestler from Connecticut in a long time to win a national championship since '03 back in high school. First public student to ever accomplish that feat. As LaJoy trying to ride him out, trying to take him to his back. And it looks like might be an escape coming up. And he gets out. Camacho. Working that hand control. There's the low leg single going up to high now. As LaJoy trying to hold it off with the sprawl, trying to get behind. Can he do it? Got control of the leg and going to be a stalemate. As Mike Gray, you could hear him and see him down there on the far side of the mat for Cornell. Says, hey, stay on the attack. Hustle hard. Finish strong. 1 minute to go as Camacho gets a deep single here and trying to roll around and nowhere to go. He's on his back. Could be back points. Camacho held him there. And let's see what the official calls. He got a count in with 45 seconds and the balance switching now. These guys going back and forth at 125. It's 7-4 Camacho with 30. Down to 30 seconds left in the match. Cornell and NC State. And going to be a stalemate going back to the position, so no points. Almost had that 2 count, almost to a 3. For back points, but no call. And stalling warning on red. 7-4. And point green. And it goes back. And that's going to be your final coming up 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This one winds out. Jake Camacho wins by decision. NC State put 3 more on the scoreboard. They lead 9-6. As Camacho comes out with a victory. 9-4. So NC State staking claim in this matchup. And they have the lead here early. And next up at 133 pounds, Chaz Tucker. His first match of the season, ranked 6th in the country at 133. He's going to take on Jarrett Trombley. Redshirt freshman ranked 14th in the nation, 10-1 on the season. And this one should be an exciting one. 2 nationally ranked wrestlers. Tucker, of course, 2-time prep national champion, 4-time national finalist out of Blair Academy, the prestigious Blair Academy out of New Jersey. And, of course, ranked among the top 25 recruits nationally, according to the Associated Wrestling Press. Now, speaking of recruiting, Cornell, a lot to look forward to in the future. They have 7 of the top 100 recruits in the country for the class of 2019, 3 in the top 25. So things are going to be double dangerous at all times for Cornell in the future. 133, here we go. This is going to be lightning in a bottle. It's a match a lot of people have been looking forward to here today. Tucker and Trombley for the Wolfpack. Trombley, 4-time state champion with a career record at a high school in Michigan. 194-1 was Trombley. His only loss came as a freshman by 1 point, and the 23rd wrestler in Michigan history to win 4 state championships. Won a perfect 59-0, captured the D3 state title 130 as a senior. So this man knows how to attack, and he could finish. These two filled each other out for 7 minutes of action here, 3-2-2 in college wrestling. So Tucker, being a senior, this is his first action of the season, did not compete at the Bearcat Open last week. And Tucker, here's someone who he came in with a lot of accolades, with a lot of excitement. And Tucker going deep in the outside single. Look at the finish. Tucker trying to take him down. Almost got 2 points. Tucker coming back to his feet. That second effort and down. Can Tucker get behind? Look at that action. Down to the center of the mat to the right side. Boy, that's some speed personified here for Cornell and NC State. 125 in the first period. And looking for 2 points, trying to scramble behind is Trombley, the redshirt freshman. The freshman and the senior. That's why you got to love wrestling. In many ways, age is just an element of the sport. It's not necessarily what it's all about. It's mat time, it's experience. So the redshirt freshman and senior doing battle here. No points after the stalemate. Boy, Tucker, you saw how the acceleration on that single leg. This man is fast. So, of course, wrestling, as a former wrestler myself, you know, you look at wrestling in comparison to many, many sports in the world. Very few, if any, except for maybe boxing and some others. And, you know, to really maintain your weight, to have that mental discipline, the strength and the willpower to come out, perform, even when maybe you're sick and you're not feeling 100%. It's just you on that mat. Your team's on the side supporting you. But in wrestling, it's you. It's man to man, man to woman in a lot of cases too now with the sport progressing in the future. And you rely solely so much on just you out there. But no doubt, Papalizio and Cole and company, some of the best putting their eyes top 3, 2, and 1. That's going to round out the first period. What an exciting first period. No score. Tucker nearly got that 2 points on that fast single leg to no avail. So the Big Red trailing in the team score. It's 9-6 NC State. This right here is a must win here for Cornell, because then you get into a little bit of a deep hole against the Wolfpack. Tucker trying to come out, and he does. There's 1 point escape. Tucker with the speed. Boy, he's as lightning and as fast as anybody in the nation. On his feet is Chaz Tucker. 1-0 Cornell. This right here, this is what we call a turning point match with 3 Cornell ties it. So it's a 6-point swing, certainly a swing match. If NC State wins this match by decision, it'll be 12-6, or by pin, could be 15-6. So Tucker. Who's on the Team USA Under-23 World Freestyle, representing USA at the championships. So Chaz's international competition right there on his resume as well. So you can tell these guys evenly matched. Tucker trying for the deep inside signal, blocked there by Trombley. So if you notice that right now, Tucker's been able to go shot, reshot. Let's see if he can get some 2 points for the Big Red. So, of course, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, NC State, they've got a busy day. So they brought a lot of guys here. They're going to mix up the lineup later tonight. They wrestle at Binghamton University later on tonight. They take on the Bearcats, who've really enjoyed great success. Donnie Vincent, of course, an assistant on the Wolfpack, former Cornell assistant coach up here for the Big Red. And there's somebody with a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. It's 1-0 right now. Tucker on top. This one, as expected, as advertised, it's been tight. And that's the end of the second period. Chaz Tucker up 1-0, and no doubt about it, Trombley going to go down and try to tie this thing up or take the lead on a reversal. Trying to get the escape. Tucker, very strong. Trying to hold down Trombley. And looking for the overhook. Trying to control the hips, take him back down to the mat. And tough position here. Let's see if he tries to front trip. Front trip and trying to put him to his back is Tucker, and back goes down. This one is a tight one. Side ride here by Tucker. Looking for hand control. That crab ride. 1:30 and counting in the matchup. Trombley almost got loose, almost got the spin in the reversal. But Tucker muscles him back down to the mat here in the center. So got to watch out here for the stalling warnings, because they've been calling them quickly here this afternoon. And Trombley gets out. It's going to be a 1 minute go. Third period, tied at 1. Tucker and Trombley. Here we go. The Big Red and the Wolfpack. With a decision, Cornell ties the match at 9. If Tucker can get it done. The senior and the redshirt freshman. Let's go Red chant coming out here with the crowd. Tucker trying to finish. We're down to 38 seconds. 38 seconds left in the matchup. These two neck and neck. It's been tight. We're down to 30. 30-second go. Tucker, deep outside single. Trying to finish. Can he get him down? He does. It's going to be 2 points. If he gets the arm around, he will have 2. But no, what a move by Trombley. Trying to put Tucker to his back. It could be 15 seconds. If he spins out of it, we got 2 points. Tucker, he's got 2 with 10 seconds left. Tucker with the finish. He put himself in an offensive position and the right position. We're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That does it. Tucker with a big single leg takedown, and he wins the matchup 3-1. A big decision for the Big Red. Cornell ties it at 9. So as you see in your camera, Coach Papalizio trying to protest the call, but Tucker looks like he finished it. And that does it. Tucker with the victory. 3-1. Tucker with the win, and that one came right down to the last 15 seconds. We've had some close matchups, and he loves seeing that. The essence of competition, the respect for their opponent, going over and shaking that other coach's hand. And you got to love it. Chance Tucker, a hustler. He needed that one. His first match of the season, gets the win. Cornell ties it at 9. Big win for the Big Red. And now we go to 141. 7-0 this season. Third in NCAAs in 2018, ranked 11th in the country. He's dangerous. Tariq Wilson out of NC State, redshirt junior. Going to take on Noah Bauman. He won the Bearcat Open just last week. He's a senior, 5-0, even at a Tech Fall last week. Appeared in one duel last year. And check that, Buffman. All Ivy League twice. He's a senior. Won 22 matches 2 years ago. Of course, won a pair of state titles at Wadsworth High School in Ohio. He was 40-1 as a senior back in high school. Won the state title as a sophomore. Placed 3rd as a junior. Now Wilson, all ACC, 1 win away last year for being an All-American. Of course, 2018 had All-America honors. A wrestler who's gotten better each year, progressed each time on the mat. Out of Ohio. What Cornell, huge win by Tucker to swing the factor of momentum. And that's what you need for this Cornell team. You've got guys that are out. You've got guys with the red shirts. Tucker, of course, the guys that need to get it done. You look to them to get it done, and he did just that. It was go time in that final minute of action for the Big Red. It's 9-9 between Cornell and NC State. Thank you so much for joining us here. This is ESPN Plus, Cornell Wrestling hosting NC State. Andy Baldowski with you. It's a tied match at 9. Look at that. Almost got 2 points. Buffman. What a spin maneuver. And Buffman almost had 2. Wilson trying to take him to his back. And close position here, no points. And these guys are going to go out of bounds. Having that mat sense is so important. Have that reset button. That's what you do if you're that close. A lot of guys in compromising positions hit the reset button. And that's what he did right there. Of course, you're always taught, work to improve, wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. But it's almost like resetting. Get a fresh start. Neutral position. Buffman and Wilson. Almost got a beautiful throw out of Buffett. So the Wolfpack, their schedule certainly doesn't get any easier for them. Tough schedule with the ACC this year. Vontech ranked 4th in the country. They'll be up here in Ithaca as well against the Big Red of Cornell. You got Virginia, Pitt, North Carolina, the ACC schedule. The Southern Scuffle always brings out some of the best in the country. That's right on January 1st, the new year, at the start of the new year for this NC State team. Cornell not at the Southern Scuffle this year, but nonetheless, their schedule always stacked as well. So no score. First period, 20 seconds. Wilson getting in deep, and he's going to take Buffett right to his back, almost to his back. 2 points on the deep takedown. 2 points for Tariq Wilson. Boy, that was big. Right towards the end of the first period. 10 seconds left of the first, and Buffett beside himself after that. It's a 2-0 edge for Wilson, and he's going to ride this one out. No points here. Still enough time. Get a quick escape. Change the whole complexion of this matchup for Buffett. Cornell with a 9-9 tie with NC State. And Wilson's going to ride him out. Smart move there for Wilson. No points for the Big Red there. And Wilson's going to go to the down position. And Wilson sitting out, looking for that switch position, and gets out for the escape. That fast action movement gets it done. It's now 2-0. So Wilson, here's a guy that could go the distance. 5 major decisions for him this year out of his 7 wins. 1-0 in dual meets coming today and trying to make it 2. So Boffin trying to shock Wilson here, maybe get a 2-point edge. 3-0 lead for Wilson on top of Buffett. Look at that switch around. Good scramble here from Wilson and Buffett, and forcing him out of bounds, so they go on about. And a stall warning here on red. Stall warning on red. So these two battling between Cornell and the Wolfpack. NC State. So every match certainly matters, especially at any point of your career. But in a dual meet where 2 teams line up particularly well, Cornell certainly without some of their big guns today. But as we said, they replenish, and they have guys ready to step in that lineup and make a difference and make an impact immediately here in Newman Arena and beyond. 3-0 edge for Wilson on top of Buffett of Cornell. In case you're just joining us, it's 9-9 Cornell and NC State. So these two, and deep low leg single by Buffett. Buffett trying to finish, trying to come up. Wilson with the wizard trying to get out of it. If he steps up, he couldn't have a chance. Boy, nice battle down here towards the center of the mat. Buffett sprawling out and going to hold him there. Smart move by Wilson with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That rounds out the second period. 2 minutes left. Final frame coming up. It's 3-0 for NC State. Wilson on top of Buffett. So here's a great stat for you if you're NC State fans out there. The Wolfpack 22-8 against ranked opponents over the previous 4 seasons. Of course, they have a winning record all 4 years. Even more impressive, NC State 12-4 and ranked battles outside of Raleigh. So on the road during that time. Last year, the Pack 6-3 against ranked foes a season ago. So Wilson holding down Bothman and slamming him back down to the mat. And he's a control guy. He goes at his pace, keeps it even keel throughout the entire match, picks the pace up when it needs to get picked up. And Wilson's been in charge this whole matchup against Bothman. Wilson, about a minute left now in the third. He's up 3-0. Bothman, no points yet in this one. Trying to get something going, trying to get some offense or defensive move. That's going to turn into some points and line up the scoreboard. We're down to 50 now. Wilson. And this is where, as we talked about, where that conditioning is so important in the sport of wrestling. Get the wind up, build your wind up, get in that peak physical condition, run the extra sprints. And to give you that energy, to give you that momentum in that final period. 30 seconds left in this one. Wilson holding down Bothman. We're down to 20. And the Big Red, barring anything crazy here in the last 15, Wilson doing a great job of being in control. And certainly some of the Cornell faithful here saying, hey, where's the stall warning? But nonetheless, Wilson has just been very strong on top, and he's going to win it 3-0. That's the end of that matchup. Wilson wins. Give him one more for riding time. Make it 4-0. Wilson, a lot of riding time in that one. He wins 4-0, and that's what he does best. In those positions, ranked 11th in the nation. He improves to 8-0 on the season. And chuck up another win, 12-9 for NC State. So right now, before we get to our next matchup, at 1:49, we're going to leave you with the sights and sounds of Newman Arena right here on ESPN+. We'll be right back. Just going to pause for a quick few moments. Welcome back to live action here at Newman Arena. Cornell and NC State. It's an Ivy League clash versus the ACC here on ESPN+. Andy Belnowski with you for a great day of wrestling action. It's a 12-9 lead, NC State, as we go to 1:49. A.J. Lighton, redshirt sophomore, 9-3. Right now for the Wolfpack. Taking on Hunter Richard of Cornell, a junior 4-0, 25-12 record, won the 2019 Bearcat Open, 3-time New York State high school champ. And of course, Richard, Howard Patton native. Went to Howard Patton, 3-time state champion, all-state in football, actually holds the tackle record for Howard Patton at upstate New York, up past Utica, a little past Syracuse. It was an All-American, 265 career wins in high school. The junior, who's 4-0 to start the season. So here's a guy, he's got a heck of a motor on him. Can score at will. Getting a shot here at 1:49 today. So 2-1 is your lead, NC State on top of Cornell. So Howard Patton, a solid program in New York, as Richard trying to hold down, and stalemate is called. The 1:42 mark just underway here in this one. For the Big Red and NC State, Andy Molnowski here with you. Great day of wrestling action here in Ithaca, New York between Cornell and the Wolfpack. So getting geared up later, 157, 165, and 174 remaining in today's contest. And of course, the next one, it's a big one. Number 1 ranked Hayden Hidley from NC State, redshirt junior, undefeated as a 2-time All-American ACC Wrestler of the Week. He'll be in action next against Colton Yapujan, 4-0 at the season, a freshman from Byers, Colorado. That's next up after this one here. 2-1 lead here for NC State. On top of Hunter Richard, the junior. So the name, we're talking about Holland Patton being a successful program in upstate New York. And the name even sounds tough at that high school, Holland Patton. And still nothing going here. 30 seconds, getting about that 30-second mark in the first period. Richard trying to get that deep, low leg single for A.J. Layton. And under 30 now to 20 mark now. So this is what you see in college wrestling. 2 guys evenly matched. You see how they perform with each other, pushing the envelope, feeling each other out. Is this an evenly close match, a neck-and-neck contest? That's what we have right here, right now. 2-1, early edge for the Wolfpack. So 12-9 in the team score. NC State, as Richard will choose down to get some points here. Cornell and NC State College Wrestling Saturday. It is on here at Newman Arena. Richard gets up to his feet quick. And going down, gets out. There's one escape. We are tied at 2. Richard with fast movement. The double bounce into an escape to tie it up. So the Big Red, this is another every match crucial going down to the final couple of bouts. Here, this tight one, a lot of decisions here. Richard trying to even the score in the team score. He evened the score in the match. Richard going for a deep, going behind. Shot, reshot. Richard trying to finish. Can he get it? He does. 2 points for Richard. 4-2 Cornell. Determination. Grit and will for Hunter Richard. Boy, that's some steam in that motor, coming out of that motor right there for Richard. Boy, you get a big takedown like that, changes the whole complexion of the match. Let's see if Richard can hold him down, maybe get some riding time points, or maybe turn something into some back points, get some back exposure, get a 3 count for some points for Cornell. Top crab ride, and looks like it's going to be escaped. Look at that, going back down force. Good effort by Richard. Don't give up the easy one. Stay on the attack. Kyle Dake and Mike Gray, Coach Gray down there loving it. And Gabe Bean for Cornell. You look down to that bench, and these guys are pumped up for Richard. 12-9 is your team score. NC State on top. It's 4-2. Richard in the lead, and there's an escape. Make it 4-3 now. 43 seconds. Only 19 seconds riding time for Richard there. So this one, of course, barn burner, these two. For the Wolfpack and the Big Red, down under 30 now here in the second period. Richard took control of the match out after that big takedown here. Can he get another one before the period's over here in the second? Richard pushing the envelope. Under 10. Almost got a front headlock. Down to 5, and they're going to wind this thing out. Don't make any mental mistakes, many errors towards the end of that period. give up some lazy points, so to speak. It's 4-3. Pack going down. See if they can tie it or take the lead. So Richard in the top position. Looking for a power drive. Back to Hamcraft, and there's the escape. And we are tied at 4 just like that. Final frame, second close matchup in a row here. 4-4 is your score. Wolfpack and Big Red, 140 and counting in the match. Ken Richard come back and finish it off for the Big Red. Down to a minute 30. Boy, such a fast mover on the mat is Richard. Richard trying to go behind, and tough position, and 2 points for Wolfpack. 2 points, big takedown, make it 6-4 advantage for the Pack. Well, you saw Richard just get into a tough sprawl situation, and a lot of times when your opponent gets that body mass on you, it is hard to come out of. Using the hip movement to his advantage. So we got to go here. 1 minute for the Big Red. Minute 3 to be exact. Left in this matchup, 12-9. Team score, NC State on top. Wolfpack leads 6-5 in this one. Richard's got to go now. 1 minute, set it up and see what happens. As we said, and deep. Look at that big whizzer from Richard. Richard trying to go behind. Trying for the chin whip. Nowhere to go. Down to 40. 40 seconds and counting. And stalemate is called. Boy, you see that strength from Richard for Cornell. Almost snapped that down into a chin whip to 2 points. But sometimes you don't know unless you try. Big effort there by Richard. Straw by NC State. Richard trying to go behind and scramble position. Scramble position could be a stalemate. Under 30 seconds left. 6-5 lead NC State. And these guys are in the compromised position. Nowhere to go. And might be a stall warning and could be a stalemate. Still nothing, still nothing. 15 seconds. Richard trying to come out loose. Trying to get the 2 points. We're down to 10. Down to 10 seconds. Nowhere to go. Down to 7. And this might be a good no call here coming by the official. Richard trying to finish. 2-1. And that's the end of the match. NC State. Lighten. Outlast Hunter Richard by a score of 6-5. And that was a big one. It's now a 15-9 lead for the Wolfpack. On all accounts, throughout the nation right now, Intermat and the NCAA. Headley, of course, shocking the world a couple years ago, made all the way to the NCAA finals before getting beat by a very talented Jason Nolf of Penn State. Fourth last year, of course. Just 3 NC Staters earned All-American honors as freshman and sophomore. 3 other, and he is one of them, is Hayden Hindley. So I want to say thank you so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. Andy Malowski with you. Cornell and NC State here in 157 now. It's 15-9 Wolfpack. Thank you so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. I want to give a shout out to people watching down in Texas. Adam Monk down there. Former wrestler Josh Hasty watching as well out in Ohio. And to the boys, we say hello from Ithaca, New York, and hello to everybody watching here this afternoon between Cornell and the Wolfpack. It's been a good one so far. This season opener for the Big Red here today. So Hayden Hindley, you want to talk about hype, you want to talk about build-up, and a guy who just never stops moving. That's Hindley. For NC State, Yapujin, he's a freshman out of Byers, Colorado. Here's another guy who's wrestled strong in freestyle, wrestled out in Fargo. Just had a great motor as well. These two. Upper body, this is where some of that Greco-Roman stuff comes into play. And this is something that Hindley kind of backing out of. Not really comfortable position here. No score here early in the first period. 1:10 and counting in this one. in the first period. 15-9 team score. NC State Youth Wrestling Day up here at Cornell. The future is bright for the sport. So this is one we've been looking forward to, one of the matches to watch. Number one wrestler in all the land, Hayden Hidley for NC State. Hidley has his eyes set on an NCAA title or bust this year. And he's got 2 more years here for the Wolfpack, being a redshirt junior. So close on their feet right now. No score, under 30 now in the first period. And Hayden Hidley, we watched a wrestling documentary the other night. Terry Brands of Iowa always talks about you get what you earn in the sport of wrestling. And he is so right. For the Hawkeyes, of course, the Brands brothers synonymous with greatness at Iowa, doing great things out there for the Hawkeyes. 3-2-1 as this one rounds out. So Hidley, in many respects, a lot like the Brands brothers, a non-stop motor on the mat as he takes down, looking to get some points out of that down position. So there's a looking for escape now for the Wolfpack, and 1 point for Hidley. That's your first points of the matchup here in a tight one. 1-0. Here's your lead for Hidley and NC State, of course. Colton Nupugin, here's a guy, don't let the freshman tag fool you. Here's a guy that can just flat out go, and showing us why he can hang with anybody in the country. Colorado, a great wrestling state. And Rob Cole and company doing a stand-up job, as always, in the recruiting department, building an elite program here in Ithaca. Bring a guy in like Yapujin who can step up and step into the lineup. This one very, very close. Just a 1-0 lead for Hidley right now on top of Yapujin, almost approaching that 1 minute mark right now of the second period here on ESPN+. Andy Malnowski here with you. And it's been a fun one so far here in Newman Arena. Good crowd out here on hand here today. Yapujin looking for anything. Deep shot by Hidley. Hidley gets deep on the opposite leg, trying to finish. And nothing going yet. Yapujin trying to hang on. He's got that back leg. And it's almost like you think about a table approach. You cut off one of those legs to the table. It's kind of hard to move. It's kind of hard to stand up. And almost trying to put Yapujin to his back. And Hidley gets the 2 points. And smart move by Yapujin. When your back's that much exposed, close to a pinning combination, a pinning situation, as Hidley gets the 2 points. So a little bit of a bailout by Yapujin. Nothing wrong with that. Rather give up the 2 than the 6 for the team score. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that's the end of the second period. Hidley in control, 3-0 on Yapujin. One of our matches to watch, as we said earlier in the broadcast here between Cornell and NC State. And this is where Hidley can do some damage. Very rugged wrestler on the mat. A lot of times, yeah, you can score as many points as you want in the neutral position on your feet, but this is where matches are won oftentimes. The scrambles on the mat, the back points, pinning combinations, exposure into those situations. That's what Hidley's trying to do. Minute 30 and getting close to the minute riding time, at about 50 seconds for riding time. Get to that minute, he gets 1 point extra. Tallying on at the end of the match. 55, 6, 7. And we're at 1 minute. He's got another point coming from the riding time, does Hidley, and a stall warning against the Big Red. So Yapujin holding his own here today against the number 1 ranked wrestler in the nation, Hayden Hidley of NC State, the Wolfpack, trying to tack on 3 more here, building on their 15-9 lead. And the riding time in favor of Hidley. And Yapujin trying to get out, nowhere to go. And Hidley is just so powerful, so strong like a bear down there, holding you down. And Yapucha trying to get out, almost slid out of it to his feet, but nowhere to go. And more riding time, get to that 2-minute mark. And it might be another stall coming against Yapucha. And I mean, I've been there. If you're a wrestler, you know what that's like. When there's just no place to go, you're just held against your will, like Hidley has done right here. And he may slap him with the stalling, but maybe not for the official. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That rounds it out. Hidley never put himself in danger. That's what an experienced wrestler does. The whole match, he was in control from the get. Tack on some riding time, and the number 1 ranked wrestler in the country remains undefeated as he takes care of Colton Yapucha for a 7-0 final with riding time. 2 points riding time for Hidley. He is unbeaten. And it's now 18-9, NC State on top of Cornell. So you see some of the youth guys, some of the young guys down here watching this matchup. Momentarily, we're going to pause about 30 seconds away for the next contest at 165. Don't go anywhere. This is ESPN Plus. Andy Molnowski, Cornell, and NC State. Welcome back to live action here between NC State and the Cornell Big Run here on ESPN Plus. Andy Molnowski here all afternoon with you. It's been a good one here. 18-9 is your team score. NC State in the lead. Number 1 ranked wrestler in the country, Hayden Hidley, showed us why, winning very convincingly over Colton Yapucha in the last bout at 157. We are now at 165. 14th ranked wrestler in the country, Tom Bullard, redshirt junior, 6-1 on the season, 21-10 last year, almost getting a 2-point takedown here on Adam Santoro. 3-1 this year, took second at the Binghamton Open just last week, 17-11 overall a season ago for Cornell. So 165. We got one more matchup after this one. Brandon Womack looking to get back to his winning ways at 174, ranked 10th in the country. That is next. So Cornell down 18-9. They need some big ones here. They need to have these next 2 matches to win this thing. Down 18-9. You get 3 here, it makes it 18-12 NC State. And almost need to put Womack in a pinning combination or a pinning situation to get 6 to tie it, or you need 2 pins to come out on top. Of course, a pin in the college level, very, very difficult to accomplish, but certainly done over time and over the years quite frequently when done properly. So this one close right now between Bullard, 14th ranked wrestler in the country, 4-time Georgia State champ out of Archer High School in his high school days. So this is one that Cornell, some of those matches, very, very close. You go back to the heavyweight match that went right down to the wire. It's some of the lightweight matches as well for the Big Red. Ones they needed to have and didn't get it done. So as we said, Cornell has won their last 9 straight dual meet openers. And right now, Bullard looking to finish. Nowhere to go for Santoro, and there's 2 for Bullard. Now, if NC State wins this match, Cornell pretty much seals it. Cornell cannot come back and win if they don't get this one. So a decisive one here. Bullard putting the pressure on, power halving it over the top, trying to put the half into a pinning combination. So we've seen some big matches here over the years. Ohio State a couple years ago at Newman. Packed house for that one. And to go back to the early part of the decade, Iowa State coming up here Back when Kevin Jackson was head coach for the Cyclones. That was an unbelievable atmosphere that day. And a good atmosphere here today as well between Cornell and NC State. 2-0, Bullard out top for the Wolfpack as they lead the Big Red. One more matchup after this one at 174. Brandon Womack, ranked 10th in the country, and brother Dan Bullard, the Bullard brothers. It's all about the brothers on this team for the Wolfpack. The Hidley brothers and the Bullard brothers. And that's what's so cool about the sport of wrestling. Such an exciting sport. A lot of sports, of course, you have siblings, but wrestling, very unique sport in and of itself. But when you have a brother training with you, you know their strengths and their weaknesses. You push each other at home, too, in the dorms. You name it. You push each other to get to that elite level, and that's certainly what the Bullards have done, and no doubt what the Hidleys have done as well for NC State. And there's an escape for Bullard. Santoro trying to hold him down, but another point there makes it 3-0 edge for the Wolfpack. 18-9 team score for NC State on top. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon on ESPN Plus. All home matches this year for Cornell right here in the arena, Newman Arena, or if you go across the way, the Friedman Wrestling Center, state-of-the-art facility in all the country dedicated to the sport of wrestling. So many greats over the years have come through Cornell. The Dinks, Travis Lees, Gabe Dean, Nickersons. So many names that have put this program on the map. Mac Lunases, Cam Simons. The list is endless for Cornell, and Rob Cole has built a power up here for the Big Red. And there's 2 points. Another 2-point takedown for Santoro. Gets it done. It's now 5-0. NC State in control, and they're sealing this match off. Down to 15 seconds remaining in the second period. And it takes time to build a program, no doubt, wherever you're at. Coach Papalizio at NC State, they've taken this program to the next level. They're All-Americans the last couple of years. And he was a huge part of that resurgence down at Binghamton University with Donnie Vincent. Of course, Vincent, an assistant now with the Wolfpack. Binghamton's all-time wins leader. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Section 4 powerhouse that he was back in the high school days. And yeah, just definitely a brotherhood. And you look back, we talk about the brotherhood today. Connor LaPresse, former wrestler here at Cornell, had a chance to talk with him earlier today about the brotherhood that is wrestling. Guys want to help each other out. Respect for your competition, respect for your opponents, and respect for everybody. That's what's special about this sport. Competition brings out the best in a lot of people out here, and Cornell right now in the competition down 5-0. As for the final frame, another 2 points for Bullard, making it look easy today. Make it 7-0 on top of Cornell. 1 minute to go, and also getting close down to some riding time in the matchup as it goes across periods. And this one's going to be on a reach for Cornell as NC State comes up and gets it done. They won the matches they needed to win today. And the ones that could have gone either way went to NC State's favor. And the Wolfpack stall warning now against Cornell down to 40. Put 1 point riding time back on the clock as well. On the scoreboard down to 30. Under 30 now left in this one as we build up to the final bout of the day for the Big Red. Cornell and NC State. It's been an exciting match, and put another one up, stalling. And it's going to be a major decision coming up for the Wolfpack. 5-4-3. Put on 1 point of riding time as well. And it is all Tommy Bullard, and the redshirt junior improves to 7-1. NCAA qualifier, he's got his sights set on big things this year for the Wolfpack. And your final. Bullard takes it from the start. 22-9, NC State. As we get ready for our final count, make it 9-0 win right there for Bullard. All right, 20 seconds away. We're going to pause for our final match of the afternoon. Cornell and NC State at 174. I'll be right back here on ESPN Plus. Welcome back to live action. It's our final match of the day, and it's a good one at 174. 10th ranked Brandon Womack at Cornell, the senior. His first match of the season, 3-time NCAA qualifier, All-American back in 2017. Finished 8th, 22-10 last year. Had a tough go in the NCAAs, but he is back, and he promises to himself to be better, to be bigger, and to be more striking this year on the bat. He's taken out NC State's number 17 in the country, Dan Bullard, redshirt junior, 6-1 on the season. NCAA qualifier in the last couple of years. Bullard, 4-time state champ out of Archer High School. Womack trying to finish, looking for that low-level single. Bullard trying to get behind. Womack moving the hips, great hip movement here at 174. This is fast and heavy. Womack trying to finish, looking for the back trip. The back trip or the readjustment. Bullard trying to flee. Could have had a warning for stalling there. This one at the 2-minute mark now of the first period. 7 minutes of action here. Womack trying to finish. He does. 2 points. Brandon Womack. 22-9. NC State has sealed this one up this afternoon. But the final match of the day, Brandon Womack, his first action of the year. And you want to talk about statistics. Let's talk about Womack's. He was a 6-time state champion in high school. Yes, 6-time out of Scottsboro, Alabama. His career record, staggering. 422 wins, 8 losses in high school. And he was his most outstanding wrestler 5 times in Scottsboro, Alabama. That right there is heavy win percentage. 77-0 as a senior. This man knows how to win, and no doubt eyeing a podium finish this year at 174 for Cornell at the NCAAs. Under a minute now. It's 2-0 Womack in control of this one. And Womack is not messing around today. He's coming out, staying on the attack, staying on the hustle, using his willpower. And it's been a fast matchup today as NC State and Womack. Womack trying to hold him down. So this is what Womack does well, that side crab rod. Maybe try doing the suck back. Over the top, and escape by NC State. 2-1, 30 seconds. 2-1 for the Big Red. So that's a big swing of momentum. Womack, 20-second go here. Can he make it 4-1, get 2 points with 15 now, 15 and counting. 22-9 is your team score. Wolfpack on top. So 2-1, that rounds out the first period. With a 2-1 score, Womack on top, and he will take down to get some more points. And, you know, if you're Coach Rob Cole and company, you kind of go back to the drawing board. You see what worked for you today. You see what didn't work. Kind of moving some guys around at certain weights. And obviously you're without 4 of your big guns in your lineup, virtually almost half your lineup. So you think about those things and you factor those in for Cornell and the Big Red. But you don't look too far ahead. You don't say, hey, that's how it is. we can't wait till next year. No, this season's just beginning. So Cornell, as we said, they replenish, they restock, they reload, and they're going to try to do that again this year and see which guys are working and fitting in the right weights, in the right positions, and really give you the highest percentage of chance to win the matchup. And you look back at some of the matches today, a lot of them are swing matches, and Cornell could have come out on top. That heavyweight match, of course, could have gone either way. And those are 6-point swings. NC State coming back mostly in their favor, in their factor here this afternoon. So Womack, as we talked about, All-American 2 years ago, 8th place in 2017, and puts last year behind him because it wasn't the finish he was hoping for last year in the NCAA. This all-Ivy League performer, I mean, he's as good as anybody in the nation at his weight. And you think about what he's done, what he's accomplished here for the Big Red. And look at this, trying to swing over for back points is Womack. Womack trying to get him over and nowhere to go. It's 3-1 Cornell. Down to 30. Now to 30 seconds and change for the Big Red. Scramble position over the top. Wizard. Bullard trying to get two, trying to tie this thing up. And nowhere to go. And will he get it? He does. We're tied. Boy, Womack, his first match of the season. Bullard, redshirt junior. So these two guys, same age, same mat experience. And Womack, and that puts Bullard in a great position now into the third period. He's going to take down to try to take this match for the Big Red. Or for the Wolfpack, rather. So he will go down 2 minutes. This is it. So you got to think Womack perhaps give up that 1 point here. Let him get the escape, put the pressure on, and there's the turnover, almost into a standing switch, and it's a switch and reversal. 2 points. What a move by Bullard. And nowhere to go for Womack. Womack looking for the Peterson. Trying to come out and flip that leg over. His arm is caught. Bullard trying to finish. Boy, Bullard, the sense of urgency for Bullard is on high octane right now. Trying to turn for back points. Could be a stalemate position. These two battling out at the center of the mat. Womack trying to get out, trying to lift himself up. He gets the arm free, pops the head to get the 2 point reversal. It's 5-3 NC State. Bullard in control right now. It's going to be a stalemate position. It's got to be called here. I've been stuck in that one for a little bit now. Yes, sir. Stalemate. So Womack, you see Kyle Dake just bursting out of his chair. Close to 2 points there to tie this thing up. That's how close Womack is in this one. To tie it up at 5. And we're getting jacked up here as well from the top point vantage point. Womack trying to escape. Bullard holding him down. Spinning out into back points nearly, and coming free is Womack. 1 minute go. Here we go. 1 minute to go for Womack. Down 5-4. 2 points wins it. Womack and Bullard. Can the Bullard brothers cap off a successful day with 2 wins for the Wolfpack? The Cornell faithful getting into it here on the side. Womack down 5-4. Can he finish? Can he finish? Trying to get the deep shot. 30 seconds. Low leg single to the outside. Womack, can he pop his head? Gets his knees up. Got to get his base. Nowhere to go. And that's what Bullard does. Controlling the arm. 20 seconds. Nothing called here. Could be a stalemate position. Trying to work to improve his Bullard. Deep on the leg is Womack. Womack is just staggering. He's down low. And stalemate. 8 seconds. 8 seconds to go. 22-9. Your team score for NC State. 5-4 in the match. Bullard, can he hold down the great Womack and get the win? 5-4, 3, 2, and it's over. An upset win. Dan Bullard with the victory. 5-4 over Cornell. And that was a wrestling match. Those two back and forth. Womack certainly not happy with his performance.